Hey Bronwyn, this is Mike with Real Life Photography. Thanks for sending over some images. You requested to see the small presets on these 5 images. Just so you know, Sven he released another pack. I don't have that pack yet of small presets. They're a little bit different than these ones. These were his second pack. And I don't think his originals were really ever for purchase. So I guess this is his first pack of 4 purchase presets, and I think they're pretty great. I haven't bought the second pack yet, just because I've been working on my own. But I will eventually probably purchase them just so that I have them as a good just so that I have them for the most part. So. This is with his first pack. We'll start with this photo of your son. Now, Sven requested that I specifically not show the sliders on the right hand side of your Lightroom screen, so you can't see any of the tweaks that I'm making, just because he wants to keep that information for people that purchase. So we'll do our best here. I'll tell you kind of what I'm doing as I go through and adjust the images. But so here's the first image, and this is with the first preset here. It's labeled no grain here. This is just because I took the grain off of this. All of his presets all come with grain. So if grain's your thing, then you'll be good to go. But otherwise, you'll need to drop the grain out when you edit. So I'm just gonna crop this and just straighten it up a little bit. So this is one click with his first preset. I'll show you this the second preset here. Second preset, a lot more greens. The third, which I think the third is really nice. The first and third to me are my favorites, and you can see it added all that green on there. Fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, seventh one, eighth. And then you get 2 black and whites. Also, what's really cool with his presets is he includes some tonal packs as well. So these are to be stacked on top of whatever the original preset was. So we'll click on the first one, which, like I said before, is kind of my favorite one. And then you can stack these different tones on top of it. Nature Love, Cinematic, Romantic, Earthbound, and Warm-Hearted. So I'm just going to edit this the way that I would normally edit if it was my image. So I'm going to go back over here. Preset number 1. I'm going to raise the exposure a little bit. I'm going to adjust the white balance just a little bit warmer. I tend to edit a little warmer. And then I think I'm going to put on that cinematic tone. Warm up a little bit more. Maybe adjust there. And from there, I want to, I think what I want to do is just warm up his skin a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the saturation layer, and then bring up the saturation a little bit on his face. And then I think I'll drop the luminance down just a little bit. And this preset itself has a little bit of matte built into it, and sometimes I like to drop that out as well, or at least drop it down a little bit. And ultimately, I think that's how I would edit that image. So here's the second one. I think this is a nice image. You got a nice scenery here. So we'll click on 1, click on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and kind of see where we want to start with a base. Kind of feel an 8 on this particular one. There's a lot of oranges, and it kind of gives you a little rusty overtone. And then I think I'll take a look at the tones, the tone pack that he includes as well. Nature Love, Cinematic, Romantic, Earthbound, and Warm-Hearted. And I think Cinematic is kind of where I'd want to be. Warm it up a little bit. I'm probably going to drop down exposure just a tad, somewhere right in there. and then ultimately I would drop out the grain, and that's the second image. So here's the third one. Oops. There. On the third one, I think I would go with number 3. Drop exposure down a little bit. Lower the highlights. So there's a little bit of matte in this one as well, not much. Probably drop that down. I think I would see if I can warm it up just a little bit, and then I would adjust the yellows and the saturation part there. Maybe up the greens just a tiny bit, and then from there I'm gonna mess with the hue, and I'm going to take the hues for the greens up toward the cooler point and the cooler side, and then I'm also going to do kind of the same with the yellows here, somewhere right in there. Sorry, my son just came in the room. 1 second. All right, so I apologize for that. Like I said before, I'm going to drop the grain out. It's pretty heavy on the grain. All of the presets from this pack are pretty heavy on grain, but I'm happy with that. I took out a lot of the yellows out of the grass, out of the leaves, and then ultimately raised them into a more minty green. All right. Sorry about the interruptions. I'm trying to help the kids out. All right, so on to the third one here. Straighten it up real quick. And let's just take a look here which one we would go with. 3. Sorry, I just keep getting interrupted and I keep losing my train of thought here. So look at 4. I think 4 looks good on here. I would drop out the grain once again here. And I might drop highlights just a little bit. And I think for his face, right here on this side of his face, I would up the luminance for his face. Maybe drop the saturation down, but we're going to start with luminance. Just a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm going to drop saturation down a little bit on his face. Somewhere right in there. Just so it's a little bit not over the top. The next thing I want to do is I might drop the clarity down just a tiny bit more. And ultimately, I think that's a good looking edit. I think I would leave it just the way it is. All right, so here's one, family dinner or birthday party or something. So white balance is going to be a little bit tricky here. So you can manually set the white balance here. Use the little dropper, find you a spot, try to get it close, and that's pretty close where we need to be. I think from there, just because of the nature of the white balance and the light in here, I will go with, let's see what this one looks like. That doesn't look bad. The only thing bad that I really see that's going on here is the white of the door jamb or the frame here has turned to a bluish color. So I'm just going to lighten that up real quick, or line that up a little bit. And then I'm just going to take down the blues until I find kind of a happy medium. I mean, these are global adjustments that I'm making over here. So just being careful not to, eliminate the blues and any of the images back over in here. So I'm on the saturation slider, take the blues down a little bit, and then I'm going to go over to luminance, and I'm going to up the luminance of the blues and drop out the grain for the image. You already shot this image at 2500 ISO, so you're going to start seeing grain as it is. So no need to add to it. And I think I would leave it right there where it is. So there's your 5 images. I appreciate you sending them over. Hopefully you can make a decision on the packets, on the SMAL presets. I want to show you 1 second. I'm going to reset this one. And I'm going to line it up. Oops. Reset it. I'm going to line it up with my crop tool here. I'm going to show you My presets and see if any of those would work for what you're looking for. So here's number 1. Number 2, a little warmer. Number 3 is cooler. And then number 4 has a little bit more hint of magenta in it. So I think for this particular image, I would go with number 1 or number 2. Let's see. I think number 2. I like warm images, warm dark images. And make a couple of similar adjustments as we did earlier with Finn's presets. And I think we would drop saturation down a little bit on his cheek, just a little bit, and then up the luminance a little bit on his cheek as well, somewhere maybe right in there or so. Actually, too, I would take a look at this crop because we have a hand that's over here chopped off. And I have to ultimately make a decision on how we want this thing to be. Let's see if we can figure out something on a crop. So I'll go maybe there. Just the eye. There. Then I'm going to have to straighten this up a little bit. Alright, sorry. I keep getting distracted. It's a tough day here on Sunday. I actually go on the road tomorrow, so the kids are wanting all my attention. So I think that's the way I would edit that with my preset. And I've got grain as well. You shot this photo at 1000 ISO. I think we can drop out the grain right there. And I think that looks nice. So if you have any questions, I mean, it could be related to my presets or any other presets or just generally editing you want to get better or anything like that, just please reach out to me on Facebook. Shoot me a message on my Facebook page, facebook.com/RuleLifePhotography. And I do post tutorials on my website at RuleLifePhoto.com. But if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.